Good morning. It's Monday morning again, and I'm back with the next instalment of the I'll just try that again. The flip throughs of my year of journals. So thank you for joining me, and I hope that you enjoy having a look through what I did. So we start in July 2020. And yes, I was having a little grungy month, enjoying some of my old stamps that I hadn't used for a long time, and I had been doing some tea staining and adding bits and pieces of metal into things. So I made some nice rust stains, and I made one of those into some digital paper. So this journal is tied with a really scrappy bit of, or literally tiny little bits of ripped off cotton fabric, which I've just knotted together and made into the closure with this. I love this closure. I find it works really well. So it's one hole with one string, and I leave a tail, and then I wrap twice. That's only once actually on this one. I usually leave a bit more. And then just tie a really loose knot or bow, like this. And you can do that with all sorts of different kinds of fibre. And I really like it. One of the reasons I like it is because the wrapping pulls the journal shut. If you go this way, it squashes it shut like that. So I like that. Right, enough of that. So we've got some vintage stamps, etc. on there. Just a little bit of collage in the front here. I've been playing around with sort of grungy, heavy staining on things. You can see this is a really grungy bit of collage here. Just some digital paper and a bit of, this is cotton fabric, which I tea stained and scanned and then further distressed. So I was just into making things look grungy. Little journaling card there. And in July, things started to feel a little bit easier. We've got another bit of grungy. So this is jelly print with some stamping over the top into a little flip out. This is a little fabric collage. So you've got here tea stain fabric, tea stain printed fabric, and this is a piece of really old vintage tape measure from my granny's sewing box, and that's all been zigzagged down with dark brown thread. Bit more grungy collage on the back of here. I was making a sort of map themed journal or book for somebody, and I'd been looking for vintage, but it was sort of street map themed, so I've been looking for vintage street maps. So that's one of those, made into a little pocket, just with a little stain. See, look at this grungy paper under here. So I love it. Sewn tissue paper here. I think I've sandwiched a couple of pieces together and then collaged some stained or natural colours. I think it's natural coloured tissue paper that I've stamped over and collaged over the top. This is washi sticker. And then we've got another stitched element page here. Bit more stamped tissue paper, washi sticker, grungy staining. You know, I love backgrounds, and I sometimes I don't want to cover them up. And one of the things about making your own journal is you can have it how you like. So I can leave lots of background showing. Another bit of So the fabric collage that you saw, I also scanned and merged into a digi, so it's made its way back into here in digital form. This is a piece of hessian which I've stitched very, very scruffily around the edge, but my sewing machine doesn't have any trouble doing scruffy stitching. A little bit of journaling there. I've done more journaling than I thought going forward in some of these. It must have only stopped towards the end. A little bit of washi sticker, more at the other half of that tissue paper page. I've obviously got some bits here from the digital. Yeah, I kept these. I think I was probably planning to do something with them. But the scan, I've torn off all the bits with stitching on, look. They're quite cool. So they're in here. Look at that one. It's just a scrap of a digi, but I don't know why these things excite me so much, but I love that. I'm keeping that out. Maybe I'll keep all those out. A bit more of the paper version of that here. I've blown it up a bit. And there's the back of the original collage. I do love that page, and it's a nice digital page too. Yep, here it is again. I was obviously really enjoying playing with that. A little bit of space here, little flip up here. Not I've obviously stopped journaling at this point in the month. A little bit of, I was experimenting with crochet trim and how you might make that, and I've cross-stitched this on here. A little bit more collage, a journaling card, and that's the end of that month. So there's not masses in there, but I was doing a lot else around the edges because the enthusiasm from, you know, what I was doing around the edges was going into the journal and vice versa, and there was like a workflow that was working really well. So it's not a stuffed journal, but it's still a record of what I was doing creatively that month, and there's also some writing in there talking about, we were in the lull, weren't we, between after the first wave of COVID in the UK. So I was feeling quite positive at this point. So this is August. We have, I love this cover. No. Right, I've just shown you July. Now this is June. That is August. And I'm clearly quite confused this morning, so we'll just go with this. This is June. I have no idea what months I'm doing. I love this cover. So it's got some original vintage documents here with bits of scrap and fabric. There's a Tracy Fox label there with a closure, which is just a hairband, vintage button from my granny's box, sewing box, a little yo-yo there, this brown leafy fabric which I love, a washi sticker, a little tea bag tab. It says aroma. I thought that was apt on a tea bag tab. So open this one up. Okay. So I know, hang on a minute, I think I've got a sneeze. Nope, not coming. Right, if I sneeze, I apologise. I've been playing with painting acrylic on fabric to make sort of book cloth here. So this is part of those experiments that I was doing. A slightly unsuccessful napkin collage on top of that, which didn't really work, but I just put some other paper and some labels over the top of it. Little envelope here, so like the other half of that page has also got a napkin collage, which has been more successful on that paper than it was over there. So you can see it now, it's a scripty napkin. And then I've also covered this little coin envelope with a bit of collage. That's a bit of stamped paper and a bit of stamped tissue paper and some distress ink there. I've got a glassine envelope here which I've stamped. a little tag that says balance, which I think refers to financial things, but I was thinking about balance in life. Little washi sticker. Little pocket with a stamped leaf there. Just a really simple pocket. And a little scrappy tag with stickers, washi, and a bit of fabric at the top. Tag there. So that's the stamped tissue paper again, collaged over the tag, with a little flip out, some washi, and that's just a cutout from a vintage image, digital vintage image. I think this may have been the month I bought my Tracy Fox labels. I think there's a few of them in here. So another little collage with some bits and pieces, a bit of a lacy tab there, some stitching, little journaling card with some stamps and the envelope that they came on here, bit of writing on. I love those. I haven't put anything else. I just love that so much. I don't want to put anything else on there. A little bit of journaling on the back. This is some of my faux old sellotape, which I do with alcohol ink, which I first saw done by Nick the Booksmith. Another simple little collage, some textiles, some stitch, stamp a label, some again, that is stamped tissue paper. Little fabric collage with a little bit of sort of a Art Nouveau focal point. This is from a vintage marbled end paper. That's washi tape on the back of there, a little bit of map. A little tuck spot there. So that's a little tuck spot there. A little... This is a scrap of paper from a dictionary, and I liked the image, and I've had it forever. And it was like, I'm either going to put it in something or get rid of it, because I love it, but I'm fed up of seeing it, of kind of moving it through piles of paper. So it's gone into this journal for posterity, because I think I kept it for years. So that tucks in there. That's a stamped image, which I've coloured in. And that flips down like that, so there's journaling space. Just a really simple label collage there. This is I don't have a die cut machine or embossing machine. I don't really want one. I've got a scan and cut, which I hardly ever use, and one of my New Year's resolutions is to use that more, because I do love die cut things. But I don't have the space for a die cut machine, and I don't need to start sort of having another thing to spend money on, really, in terms of buying craft supplies. So it's one of the reasons why I often sort of work on cutout shapes myself, because I kind of quite like doing things for myself. So some unjournaled paper there. Sorry, that's what I was saying. And so I've tried to emboss this paper with embossing folders and a rolling pin with some success. You can see a little bit of the design on there. It's not super raised. I think if I'd wetted the paper first, it might have done better. But I might have another go at that. You never know. I've got a couple of embossing folders. Some of them are covered in paint because I've used them on my jelly plate and things. There's that same stamped image on book page here. Just a little bit of ledger in the middle. And there, these papers, which just look dirty, really. I was experimenting with like pigment powders that you sort of put onto wet surface and they dissolve in. I've got some brushes and another kind, which I can't remember the name of now. A little bit more slightly industrial spread here with a little bit of snippety trim. I think those were pre-made little snippets that got put in here. And a couple of labels. Those are Nick the Booksmith sort of freebie labels. So this is quite quite an eclectic journal. It didn't all stay in a style, but that really didn't matter. A little bit of journaling card here. So again, I've obviously been playing with my stamps quite a lot this month. These are all from my stamp collection, and this, and again, a bit more just scrappy grungy stuff, some washi stickers. These are labels that I've made with like a label stamp. And that's a printed and fussy cut one. Let's put you this way. I like you this way. Oh, it was over the page. That's why it wasn't this way. Okay, I'm going to do it like this now. So nothing on the back page. So I've obviously run out of steam a little bit here, because we've got here where there's nothing. Just a bit of, I don't think it's an unattractive page though, and bearing in mind it would have had the other thing on it. A little bit of a die cut frame. I don't like that frame that much, but I do like the idea of, this is a digital print, and I like this little sort of, you know, logo thingy that's here, and putting a little frame around the part of it there. And this little envelope flips out. We've got a little Tracy Fox label there. It's empty, but again, I've used some of that marbled paper to hinge that on there, some washi, a little bit of a scrap of a printout on there, and this is avocado dyed paper here. Little Tim Holtz ticket. It's a little tuck spot just made from some stained up heavy paper from the edge of a pad. Copy of a vintage, some of my vintage receipts. Tim Holtz ticket. It's from a biology book. Bits of ledger, really grungy, scrappy bits of trim. And again, more of the same really. I'm obviously enjoying my collaging. I know I'd had a sort out, and I'm using up some things that I'd had. So this is just a, you know, apothecary label kit, which I'd bought. Sorry, I need coffee. And I just made a collage of just, you know, all the labels from the same set. And I think that's quite effective. A little bit of cheesecloth under there. A little belly band here. It's a little envelope-y thing. It's held down with. I've been trying to age my brads, and I used various things, and this wasn't entirely successful. They're not bad. A little bit more collage there. One of my vintage price tags. A little bit of this is just a post-it note, a little bit of a scrappy trim, and a few things just tucked in the back. So that's that one. Let's get your ears out. Okay, this is August. I think it's August. I think we're on August. Okay, so I've actually used, so I'd had for ages these vintage doilies, and this probably was the one in the worst condition, so I didn't feel afraid to use it, but I used it. You know, and I think it's the first time I'd used like some of my real vintage fabric. I don't have very much at all. Real vintage fabric on something rather than just hoarding it. And it's pretty grungy. And I made it grungier. I was trying to, I was worried it was going to all kind of fray apart. So I think I put some glue, PVA on it to stop that happening, and then when I inked it, of course, the PVA picked up the glue differently, although I have been pretty heavy-handed. You can see on this other textile here, but you know, heavy-handed inking is my forte, and I don't think it's going to stop now. So there's layers of texture, so you can see there's cheesecloth under the doily. This is from a garment. There's more under there. And then this is ribbon. So I bought a whole reel of like tape measure ribbon and stained it. It's white, so I can make it whatever colour I like. And then this, for some reason, many moons ago, I decided I'd fold a book page into a tea bag. So it's a little bit chunky. It's got all the, no, it hasn't really got all the layers because you wouldn't get anything in there. Anyway, I've collaged that on the front. It was one of those things, am I going to use it or shall I throw it away? So I put it on here. A little bit of vintage stamp, a little bit of William Morris. Little tuck spot. I think I'd made up a load of these. And it's got some map, leaf. These are just really flimsy cloakroom tickets that I buy and stain. This is cardie paper, which I'd also stained. I think that goes through to the back. Yeah, look, there's a vintage sewing ad that goes there and all the way through. It's August, which is my birthday month, which is why I think there's a chocolate thingy in there. A large paper clip, rusted. That's stuck down. A little bit of simple collage there with some William Morris and some lace. We've got a belly band here, stapled in, again with a bit of Art Nouveau. We've got dictionary page, lined paper, and these are stamped things. And this, my husband, who knows me well, bought me some vintage documents for my birthday from Etsy, and this is a copy of one of them. It's a legal document about a marriage settlement, and this is a copy of it which I've then torn down and aged. So it's folded like a letter, and when it folds up you can see who it's addressed to on the, or if it might be in here somewhere, on the outside. Anyway, that's a record of that. And he also got me these French bank checks. Yeah, look, more chocolate labels here. So that's a copy of one of the bank checks he got me. I'm not particularly impressed with the sticker on that page. I think I've not even got it down flat. So not a lot here, a little bit of stamping. Didn't go back and do anything there. Just a little bit of music paper and tissue collaged over it. Here we are in the centre. So a postcard we received, some vintage music paper with stamp. Very minimal we've got here in August. Nothing here. Or here. There's the other half of that check. That is a little birdie from a stamp that I carved and coloured somehow. Looks like pencil. That is the tag from one of my birthday gifts, which I've upcycled. So this is quite thin. It's got a lovely cover, but the insides didn't really make it that month. It was August. I think that, I don't know what I was feeling. We hadn't gone back into lockdown at that point. We hadn't reached the second peak, but I certainly was pretty wary, and felt that perhaps we were not being as careful as we should have been. I didn't fill it, but I did make a journal. There is something on every page, and I'm okay with that. I still fulfilled my my intention to complete a journal every month, and complete is a loose term. So yes, those are the next 3, and there are 3 more to go. And really, I suppose it's about that full circle journey, because in the last 3 journals, I think there's a sense of a development of what I'm doing, of creating something more coherent. Not because I had to, but because that was where it went. And I think it was all part of this journey of doing this every month, making one every month, regardless of how I felt about it, regardless of whether I kind of felt like creating or not, and that I learned a lot through that. So I hope that you have enjoyed looking at those, for better or worse, and that you'll come back and see the last instalment when I get that one filmed and up here on YouTube. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you are, I'm really tickled that people are coming and watching my videos. I know it's not that many, but I'm really, really appreciative. So please take care, stay safe. Thank you.